Hi guys, it's me, Canada from Mountain Nation, and today we are reviewing a story called Too Far by Night Mysterio. The story is about bullying, so I thought it might be a neat topic to talk about, especially, how bad bullying is, and see how the story conveys it. So, let's get started. The story starts off with Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon walking to school on a rainy day a rainy day, and they're trying to get there before the rain actually starts. And they're talking about Silver Spoon starts talking about Derpy and how bad that Diamond Tiara has been treating her. Because Diamond Tiara bullies a lot. Calls other ponies names, and basically is the bully of the show. And how bad she's been doing, how bad she's been calling her names and all that stuff, and about and all that. Diamond Tiara says, "Oh, she deserves it," and blah blah blah. And basically, just being a mean person in general. So finally, we get to school when the teacher says that they have a special surprise. The Wonderbolts and Rainbow Dash and another pony, I forget what her name was, comes to talk to them. I don't know what they talk about because they don't ever actually get to talk about it, and I'll tell you why. And when they get there, Shirley's just having this until suddenly Derpy comes running in asking, where's Dinky at, her daughter. Sparkle, I believe her name is there with her. Apparently something bad has happened because they cannot find Dinky at all. And Derpy shows the teacher the note she's left. And the note apparently is saying about how she's tired, she doesn't want to be a burden on everybody, and she's sorry about all the problems she's caused her mother and all that stuff. And so yeah, she decides that she's going to run away and leave and stuff like that. So Cheerilee decides to ask the Wonderbolts for help, and also ask people in town if they can help find her too. Also asking Zebkura to start a search team in the Everfree Forest, just in case if she went through the Everfree Forest. And so yeah, they decide to go throughout town looking for her. When they leave, Diamond Tiara looks at the note and sees what's on it and stuff, and that's when she realizes what's going to happen, and everybody just starts getting mad at Diamond Tiara because this is basically her fault in a sense. And so after a while, they're looking around town when suddenly a pony, Pegasus, spots Diamond Tiara on a cliff, about to jump off. So the Wonderbolt and Rainbow Dash trying to save her now when they figured out where she's at, but they don't save her in time. She unfortunately jumps to her death, basically. And this is a really sad part. Rainbow Dash is carrying Dinky's body back to her mother and everyone else in Ponyville, and she just starts breaking down and crying, and just how sad, just the loss of her child. It's just sad, heartbreaking scene, and in this story. And also, finally, Diamond Tiara actually sees the body, and she still doesn't believe that this is her fault, or doesn't take action on anything, or does things. She keeps saying, bad things and all that stuff. And, so yeah. Until her father, Filthy Rich, comes and sees what happens, and he's shocked at what happened. He didn't know what's been going on at all until he suddenly sees Dinky's body in dead body in on the ground and realizes what's happened, and he's just utterly shocked. And when Charlie see, or she's not Charlie, but when Derpy sees him, she just starts yelling at him, telling him that, I never want to see you or hear from you or of you or your family ever again. And just basically starts yelling at him, telling him all this stuff. He's just completely shocked at what's going on. He can't process what's going on until finally Charlie jumps in and says that, I should have done something. I should have, taken charge. I should have, this is, going to go to the princesses and all that stuff. She's not going to stop at this anyway. She's going to go to the princesses and ask for their help. And that's when, Rarity and Spike come in, telling him that he's going to write a letter to the princesses and telling them all that's happened. And eventually, everything starts settling down, and then they go back to, leave. And I don't know actually how much time has passed between the story, because apparently the next scene in the story is actually Filthy Rich speaking to Granny Smith and telling him about all that's happened. She knows what's happened. She wants to back out from his business. She doesn't want to sell her Apple products with him anymore in his shops. And he's like, okay, I understand, and we'll pull everything off from the shelves, all of the stores. And so finally they're walking home. And then when they get in the house, him and his daughter Diamond Tiara starts discussing about all that's happened and all that stuff, and she just can't process all that's going on. She doesn't believe that they might go broke with this, because she's explaining how much it not really influence, but how much the Apple family's product is important. They have millions of apple farms all over Equestria, and they have so much land, and they're just a big thing in Equestria that, without them there and all that's happened, that, that now that he's lost their business, he's because of this, he's going to lose millions of other people. They're probably going to back out of this too. Back out of his business, and they'll have to, they just won't have money. He'll probably go broke in a sense. He'll take a huge financial hit. Also, he actually tells her, this is a huge part. I did not see this coming. So apparently he was in love with Derpy, and he was going to ask her to marry her. He's telling her this, and just Diamond Tiara just can't get this through her head. She can't actually believe that this is her fault and everything. So finally, Filthy Rich goes to his room and his office to discuss things when he sees the princess here. And this is what I said about, I don't know how much of a time gap this was. I assume it's somewhat after that event, because, with Granny Smith telling him that, she doesn't want to do business with him. And also the princess is finding out when Spike was going to send a letter back when I mentioned that before. So yeah, but she's talking to them, and, she's telling, Luna is telling them about, basically what crimes what crimes that Diamond Tiara has committed in this sense, basically not actually killing her, but sort of causing her to kill herself, Dinky to jump from the cliff. And finally, Diamond Tiara runs crying into her room and talking about how she doesn't believe that this is her fault, until finally it sinks into her, saying that this is my fault. This was, if it wasn't for me, bullying her, this wouldn't have happened, and things like that. So yeah, until suddenly twist happens, Discord shows up, which is very weird, which I did not expect this more than I didn't expect, filthy rich and Derpy to be in love. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, I was totally surprised, but basically a conversation between them two happens about, you know, what's been going on and all this stuff until Discord says, I will help you stop this whole event. I will basically rewind time, basically go back into the past, the events, to the event that started all of her bullying with Dinky, which was at the Equestrian Games is when all this started. And he says, but in order for me to do this, I need something from you. He doesn't ask what he needs. He doesn't say anything about it. He says, oh, in time I will ask you. But for that, you cannot say no or back out of this once we agree to it. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll do this. So what happens is now he rewinds time. He's back to the Equestrian Games, and you know, seeing the CMC in the crystal in the basically the pony games or whatever it's called, the Equestrian Games. I mean, so yeah, so they decide. So uh, Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara are walking through the concession stands, or where all the food would be at, selling in the Gentorium or whatever it is. And she sees Dinky crying, and she says to go up there and be nice to her and telling her about, you should draw some muffins on the card, because apparently Dinky had gotten into an accident sometime prior to this event, to the Equestrian Games, and so she's doing a card for her mom or something like that, and she says that she draws muffins because Derpy likes muffins, and so yeah, and then it all ends on a good note. She says that she should be nice to basically every pony now in the CMC and all that stuff. So that's how the story ends. I know I didn't explain it too well, but that's basically the summary of the story and all it is. My thoughts on it is it's actually a really good story. It's very well done and actually really good to read. It is very sad as well. I think one problem I have to say is in here is the whole wish fulfillment in the end, I guess. About, Discord being able to turn back time and giving Diamond Tiara a second chance. But I kind of like the whole ending. Because in these stories, in these suicide stories and bullying stories, it always ends usually on most of the time it ends on a very tragic note. And just having a story for a change that ends on a happy note, being able to basically the bully redeeming herself, and Dinky not dying in the story is just very, very happy and amazing. So yeah, I definitely suggest go checking this out, but I do warn you, it is a very sad story. There is a lot of sad moments in there, especially at the beginning part up till Discord basically tells her, I can help you with this problem. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Once again, it's called Too Far by Night Misto or Mystic or something like that. Mysterio, I think. Not Mysterio. If you guys want to check out some of my other stories, then do. Subscribe. If you guys enjoyed this, leave a like or a comment saying that you enjoyed it. So I'm Canada, and goodbye for now.